stream.
Yeah.
I mean, whoop, it's gonna
It's
be a good race.
oh, sorry, I was muted for a second there. Welcome to the end of round 2 here, everybody. All good. We're off to a good start.
Yeah, excellent.
My name is Temple. I'm joined here with Daniel RGT.
How's it going, everybody? We got Attack Slug and illayaya, also known as Oxwas, tonight. This is both these runners are 1-0, so one of them trying to qualify for the bracket stages off of this win here, but also just keep the momentum going too.
All right, let's get this thing started. I think. Okay. Yeah, we'll fix audio in a sec. There we go.
So we're getting the race started. About 10 seconds now. I know, at least going into this race, Slug is not feeling particularly confident. Although I feel like she should feel like she can win. So I hope she doesn't feel like she has no chance of winning whatsoever. Because I mean, she won her last match for a reason, and her PB is, like a 112. And while that's not necessarily what Oxwas has, and Oxwas has been part of the community longer, definitely you can pull out a win here, for sure. And so I hope she doesn't think that she has no chance of winning, because I want to see her play confidently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's Boogey percent. It's anything could happen. No resets.
For sure. And we've already had some really really high class top tier runners already go in with an early loss in the tournament. Just based off of Earthbound being Earthbound, Boogie percent being unpredictable. So as scared as you are of some of the runners you're playing against and stuff like that, just remember they're also scared because they know that there's no like real lead that they can hope to maintain as long as the game has a say in the matter.
Yeah, I mean to be honest, I'd be a little worried going up against Ox too. That's one of those people. Like, oh crap. I don't know. There's one person you don't want to race, or there's a few people, but I'd be pretty shook going up against Ox too. He's a legend.
Yeah, and in terms of the Earthbound Spearroom community, they've been around arguably the longest.
Right? Yeah,
it's
true.
it's like they were around. We talk about how long Andy Perfect's been here. And Andy Perfect's not part of this tournament, but Andy Perfect's just around. You see him. And so Andy Perfect's been a part of Earthbound for quite a long time. Ox even predates that. And so it's like then you get into the sort of skate man era of Earthbound. It's like I think Ox was there for that too. Uh, so
The old
it's
segmented runs.
yeah. So it's like they're maybe one of, if not the longest running Earthbound runners. Period. So the experience they have is, uh, it's a lot to go against. It's very daunting, even for
Yeah.
someone, even for the top tier runners right now, just amidst in the tournament. It's like you can't count Oxwas out ever.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was just so hyped when I saw that Ox and Cal both signed up. I'm so excited to have some Japanese runners this year. It's a first for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely the first time we've had some Japanese representation in the Super Series. I'm also just a big fan of, in general, like how
Yeah.
much the the English speaking community and the Japanese community now are interacting with each other and sharing strats and all that stuff. Like it's been a really really great to see just back and forth between the communities when we were really lacking that for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's always good to bridge that gap. And I mean, the Japanese runners are just strat hunters. They're always coming up with cool stuff and new stuff, and it's good to have that, bridge that gap, have that connection.
Yeah, the Japanese, the land of the tech, really. They're always looking for some ways to optimize the run, and they find it.
But
And I mean, if there's no, there's no. What am I trying to say? there's a good reason why Octo has basically every world record, and it's not just because they're goated beyond belief. It's like they put the work in, you know. They've been trying to find all the ways to save time on everything.
And that's what it takes, you know. Is you got to come up with new stuff. You can't just do the same run over and over. You got to come up with some new tech if you're gonna cut those times shorter.
Absolutely.
I
So we'd be
love.
approaching here.
I'll go ahead.
Sorry about that. No, I mean I'm just gonna talk about the enemies outside, but I'm curious what you love.
Just Ox's splits. You probably can't see him. I'm only but every one of his splits just says shit, which is pretty good. It's just like shit, 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 shit.
Yeah, when you run this game long enough, that's how you end up truly feeling. I wonder if Octo will get to that point, or if he's already gotten to that point.
Gotta be.
Um, gotta be, yeah. When you're running at a world record class, the brutal RNG this game can give you can be really demoralizing. But we're out here. We're trying to get past some crows here. Slug getting crow quickly caught on this bend here. Meanwhile, Ox having some trouble with this dog. The dog, unfortunately, you can't really do anything about on this bend. You want a snake or a crow. Snake here, going to be stuttered by Oxwas. But yeah, Slug expertly getting that dog stuck in the tree. Gonna move around now. Definitely one of those things you can learn just by watching other runners. It's something you see a lot of runners do, and you're like, oh, I never thought of that before. And then you immediately make it a part of your gameplay. You made this, I made this.
Yeah, it's fun to use like the obstacles in the trees. I used to call it the American Gladiator style of movement in Earthbound, and just hiding behind obstacles, getting by things.
So you have now. I just want like the what did you call like the weapon they had in American Gladiator?
All that
It's
like
just like the
cannon and
stick. It's like the stick with the two pads on the end or
oh
whatever.
yeah,
Like this.
yeah, the jousting paddle, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just imagine Ness with one of those trying to like get past the snake.
Yeah, using
Get out,
using the
get out
obstacles
of my
to
way, snake.
yeah. All right, pretty clean hill from Slug, but Ox kind of catching up there at the end. Pretty even here.
Yeah, Slug has a slight lead, but it's so early in the run. The slight lead can go away in an instant. Really, just at Starman, even depending on whether or not you get a 2-cycle or a 3-cycle.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in on it that can change the tide in a lot of ways. No pokepoles, it looks like, on this one. Interesting. Always got to do the
Yeah.
pokepole judgment. There's none to speak of.
Not everyone's as confident with. You can try and go for it, but sometimes you just misjudge the distance. The idea is you're trying to get right before you pass the middle of the meteorite. You want to go straight up to pull Pokey closer towards the meteorite, because Buzzbuzz doesn't start talking until Buzzbuzz touches the top of Pokey's head. So you want to pull Pokey closer to the meteorite, which is where Buzzbuzz spawns. Not everyone really confident in that. It doesn't really lose time to go for it. You might as well just try it.
Yeah, I've
First,
never really been able to line it up properly, personally.
yeah, but you do like a hard cardinal right towards the meteorite, hard cardinal up, and then another hard cardinal right, and it pulls Pokey in sort of a perfect position. You can save up to like 0.3 to half a second, something like that. And it's nothing to sneeze at, in my opinion.
Trying to optimize that first few minutes. It's all about those little time saves.
Absolutely. I didn't see what Buzzbuzz hit for on Slug screen. Ox looks like it was hit for 80, but Oxbox getting a guard and a freeze.
Ooh, 750. Nice. Starman Jr. down for Slug.
Another guard and the charge forward.
Wow.
And that's a 2-cycle from both of them, I'm pretty sure.
Decent.
Because this attack Slug wasn't far enough ahead to get a 3-cycle and still be ahead, in my opinion.
True.
So they're cruising. They're cruising through on that so far. But this is the first of 4 big hurdles, I would say, in on that in terms of like bosses. Right? You got Starman Jr., you got Frank and Frankenstein, Titanic Ant, Captain Strong. Those are like the big 4 bosses on that. Starman Jr. obviously one you can't lose, but
Right.
It's still boss. The whole section is the boss, really.
On it itself is the boss.
Yeah, that's the big boss. It's the final battle. In a lot of instances, can end up being one of the big things that determines whether or not you even, can hang in the race still against your opponent.
It's funny, I've commented that on previous races, like how on it dictates the run, but it seems like lately, at least from what I've seen, it's like PRV and Happy Happy have just been like striking back this year.
Yeah, it's the year of Car Painter, I guess, because
Yeah,
I had a Car Painter death, Octo had a Car Painter death, a lot of PRV deaths. We've had cultists calling for help
a
in
lot
the
of
truck.
cultists.
A lot of the truckloads. They're getting the whole squad together. They said, I'm done with this. All right, I'm done getting clowned on by this stupid little boy. All right, we get in the crew. We jump in this fool.
Yeah, we've seen like cultists, I think, maybe even H at this point. Oh, there's a sneaky snake.
Yeah, but it works out. That tree ends up being really useful, getting the snake stuck on it. Slug probably wasn't expecting the snake, but
No.
not getting into the fight is definitely still advantageous. But now Ox pulling ahead here. The spawns coming down towards this area are being a little cruel for Slug, but she still manages to get through without taking a fight.
Luckily, that crow was running away.
Yeah, he was trying to move towards Nest, but he was stuck on the tree because he wanted to move right and then left to swing into Nest. But when it can't move right, it just keeps trying until hopefully it'll just work, and it's never gonna work.
That first little path up to the library, we used to call that the On It Zoo. It's more spawns than some people are ready for in that little bend there.
Yeah, and you can get pincered pretty easily too.
Yeah.
And I like calling it the Onet Zoo as well, because it's a nice little shout out to like Mother One, which has that zoo section.
Yep. There's a lot of little, I've realized lately, just even with just the map, and there's so many little subtle nods to Mother One in this. I mean, obviously, a lot of little things.
The beginning of the Onet theme. Like
Yeah,
as it's
exactly.
turning to daytime, that's the beginning of Pollyanna.
Yep.
Is Frank a reference to Mother One? Like Frank specifically? Like is Frank supposed to be Teddy?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not like overly familiar with Mother One like that.
I've played Mother One once.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I like Mother One a lot.
Oh, it's a great game.
Yeah.
Love that game.
His first Pogapunk. Slugging the bread roll smartly, and should be able to getting through the Pogapunk on this next hit, and critting just to be a rude dude about it. That he had like 1 HP left. So it's while seeing a crit is cool sometimes, you want it to be at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah, not that last turn. Fruit juice, the old trash juice.
Roxboss through the second Pogapunk here. Attack Slug starting her second Pogapunk right now. So about a Pogapunk's worth of time in between the two of them.
A one fight.
You do give the bread roll to the miner, yeah. In a race, I wouldn't skip bread roll, but in a PB attempt, I totally understand skipping bread roll.
Right, on to Frank.
Yeah, so Frank's also claimed a lot of lives. I mean, Onet in general loves to do that. The main thing here, 45 HP is actually a scary amount of HP because it can be difficult to mash out of 20. In a case in point, unfortunately, Ox was not able to mash the 20 there. We saw Octo, by the way, in a race this week, mash at 18.
And
I was like, that's insane. This is the first I've seen of 18, although Hunter has claimed to see more than one 18 mash.
I want to say I've seen 19s, but 18 is crazy.
I've seen 19 and I've seen 20, but I've never seen 18. So we will be seeing a picture on Octopus's side, but Slug's still on Frank herself, and if she's able to get through this Frank fight, this can help pull into a nice lead. Although she's in a dangerous situation.
Nice, pulled through.
Yeah, very lucky that my man's was talking nasty, because if he had hit, she'd be dead.
A lot of those fringe situations, especially in On It, where it's like, if you get hit, it's over. Dead turn.
Yeah, that was without turbo. Ultimo Ice having particularly good mashing just naturally. And we've seen human mashes at 20 still, even, and at 19 actually.
Yeah.
But with turbo, it helps improve, and I think getting to 18 might be one of those. You might see them just more often as a result. It might also matter what you do, because Octo queued up a bash with the 18 and not a life up, so it might be different, like the mash timing on bash versus spell. I'm not 100% sure about that myself.
Yeah, because he got the kill, didn't heal necessarily.
Yeah, but attacks like getting through Frankenstein here, while Ox is now just starting Frank again. Playing a little bit, yeah, Ox playing a lot safer this time. 27, the defense is not high.
That's rough. 27. That's at the higher end for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so Frank goes down. 27 HP, they're going to get it to about 30 something. Should be enough for Frankenstein. And Ox died before he even had a chance to use his hamburgers. So still has all that at his disposal. Worst case scenario. Oh, and a nice crit to start the Frankenstein fight. Next hit should do it.
Very nice. Rank deaths usually aren't the worst thing to happen in On It.
Yeah, of the things that, to lose time on, Frank deaths, it's like 2-ish minutes, something in that range. The worst death you can probably take is Captain Strong, like dying too strong himself.
Right, using all those burgers.
Using all the burgers, then you got to go through the cops again, like all the 4 original cops. Titanic Ant, probably the second worst death.
That walk back through Giant Step, never fun.
Yeah, things aren't running for me yet, so you have to stutter past them or despawn accordingly. It can be very annoying. Sometimes you take the fight just because you don't want to deal with the fact that they're not going to go away. Alright, so Slug buying some burgers here for safety. I do not blame her. We've seen some burgerless attempts from a handful of runners already in this tournament, but it's one of those things where you're just like, you're flipping a coin. You're like, wherever, if I die, I die.
Yeah, it makes Titanic Ant fight so much scarier. You did burgerless in the quad, right?
I did burgerless in the quad, hoping to pull ahead of Sarah, and did not, even with burgerless.
Still saved you a decent amount of time, I remember, I think.
It did. It put me in the lead very briefly, because I was watching the restream.
Yep.
And then Sarah, she just kept playing super well and regained all that time, and then pulled ahead of me and was ahead of me up until like PRV, I think. So it was I tried to make a play, and it worked out in the sense that I didn't die, but I didn't gain as much time as I had hoped.
Interesting. So would you, in hindsight, gotten burgers or no?
No, because the RNG would have been different. So.
Fair enough.
And one of the main reasons it didn't save me time is that the ant fight was still tumultuous.
Yeah.
Even it was just a very long fight, a lot of shields. Slug thinking she had enough space to not get red swirled by this jerk, but unfortunately, here we are.
That's scramble speed.
Yeah. Should be about 2 hits to kill Radimal. Oh, one more hit. The crits are scary, but she's actually still in survivability range, even with at 17. But smart taking the heal because she might not be 100% sure on the full damage range, which is fair.
Race, you don't want to make a silly
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah, that's true. It's a good point. It's one of the things that come with just like a multitude of experience. Once you've been running this game long enough, you kind of get used to the damage ranges of this starting area.
Too many slugs showing up. Let's start here. Slugless.
Yeah, for either runner, really. I mean,
Right.
Slug took a red swirl and is ahead technically on XP as a result because they have one thing killed. So the slugs do not want to come out to play. Finally, we get our first 4-pack here.
Slugs, people. They're not. They don't want to get hurt. All the high fives.
Slug finally finding her first 4-pack. And unfortunately for both runners right now, their offense is not super great. Probably something in the 16 to 17 range. Just not high enough to consistently one-shot these slugs. They have 30 HP. Ness is hitting for about 27 to 36. You know, you can hit in that range, maybe a little bit, you know, plus minus X amount of damage, right? So your instinct is to want to auto fight, but with auto fight, it just targets when there's a number of enemies, it just targets randomly among the enemies. So that's why you see them, they don't auto fight in this first fight. And then when you get the offense from this level up that you inevitably get from the first 4 slugs, you usually get like a nice chunk of offense.
It's usually enough to one-shot
yeah,
the slugs.
Absolutely. Slug actually only got 1 offense, so she might not still have enough to even auto fight. But your Oxboss, you know, hitting for 37, it should consistently be enough to kill these slugs. Yeah, so critting there, 72. So Oxboss has 19 offense right now, which is more than enough to one-shot slugs reliably.
Battle math.
Yeah, it's that quick battle math. Once you know the math equation for how smashes are determined, you can use that to your advantage against these slugs. You see how much you crit a slug for. It's your offense times 4 minus the enemy's defense. Slugs have 2 defense. So you multiply Ness's offense by 4 and subtract it by 2. Or conversely, you can check, you find out, you look at the number you smash for, add 2, and then divide by 4. And that tells you Ness's offense. But you got to be able to do that math quick in your head, which not everyone even really wants to do. Let's be honest. Not everyone's really jumping at the idea of like, oh boy, I can't wait to do some math. I'm just a big nerd, so
it's good info to have. Good info to be able to figure out with, especially in a speedrun setting where you don't want to be opening up menus and stuff. You just know without having to look.
Yeah, I think for some people who don't even want to, if your stuttering is good enough, stuttering past the Antoids, even if you have 24 offense, is still faster than, you know, taking the auto kill fight. It's just more convenient to have the auto kill in a single Antoid pack, you know?
Right.
But if you can stutter, you should just be trying to do that, ideally, to begin with, because you'll just save you the most time.
Got those stutters, use them.
Yeah, it's not easy, you know. It's one of those things you got to practice at. You got to find what rhythm works well for you and stuff like that. It can be annoying to deal with, especially if your D-pad is kind of on the way out.
Which they tend to do.
Yeah, and it's so hard to find good replacements nowadays.
Year of our Lord 2022. On this retro 90s gear.
I haven't been super keeping up with the slug count. I think this is slug pack 16 for slug. So with the mouse, it counts as sort of, she has 17 slugs. I think Oxboss is trying to get to level 8 on the bottom floor.
Gotta be close.
Yeah. I think they just need 2 now. Yes. So they have 20 slugs killed. You need 22 total. But Slug finding her her next 4-pack, she can actually kill one of these mice. Oh, so you want to fight that? Those are Slug. Oh, he wants to pull just the
Get the
two
two.
slugs
Yeah.
in. Yeah, he
It's
doesn't
actually
want
pretty
to fight
smart.
the full squad. But I
Pretty
think they're
smart.
probably gonna still join. Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
they still showed up. They said, "Nah, we a team."
Despite his best efforts, yeah, they're squadding
we,
up.
we we fight together.
Those are some
We
ride or
can't
dies right there.
we can't split us up. But this is actually the last slug pack for both of them now. So Ox with a very tiny lead here, although already on the second floor, so some space advantage there. And 23
Three
offense from
offense.
Oxfus. So Slug has 24 offense. She had 20 offense before coming into this level. So she will be able to one-shot these black antoids.
Typically it's
And
22 slugs is what you need.
yeah, assuming you get no fights on the hill, no extra like shark fights, anything like that, um, it's 22 slugs. That number can change depending on if you got into like a random, not like 2 dog fights and potentially like an extra shark fight somehow. But in general, 22 slugs.
You'll see people round it out. You know, they'll get some weird odd number and they'll just like fight a rat at the end or something. That's like good enough if you're at like 20 or 21 slugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 24 offense to one shot the antoids. Which, like Daniel said, if you can stutter, that's better. But yeah, if you're just trying to one shot, 24 is the magic number for antoids.
Yeah. Oxbox not wanting to risk that stutter there. It's a little bit far into the room. This one, a lot more comfy to do. You just have to make it a certain distance, and then you can just stop stuttering and walk towards it because the Antoid's not going to catch up to you in time. And they're basically in sync right now. Slug might go for the stutter. She considered it, I think.
Two of them, it's
She
a
can
little scary.
she can auto kill. I don't know if she knows that she has enough offense to auto kill, but she's going to stutter past it anyway. And they're both about going to be starting a Titanic again at roughly the same time here.
Nice and close here.
So we're looking for these rockets to hit fairly high and also hit both Antoids. So 90 is a
90.
great hit.
Yeah, it's a good number. 76 for
26
slug.
on, yeah.
It's about average.
Ox playing it safe. It works out because if they had taken that hit on going for another rocket round, that would have been bad news. Both
Second
ants being
Rockins.
really aggressive. Second rockets hit for 80 and 81. 80 for Slug, 81 for Oxbox. We got a shield of light here. It's hard to when they're both happening at the same time.
All right.
But Oxbox's ants, I think, is being just a tiny bit meaner. We got another shield of light now on Slug's side, so halves the amount of damage you're going to be doing to the Titanic ant. I would say, oh, nice crit.
Nice,
And that's it for Oxwas. I think Slug is like 2 hits away. She can bash here, bash again. I think she knows it too.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, but she has enough health to mash this. So Burger and then hit. I think you just got to go for it.
That's got to be
Defense down. Defense down. This has got to be what you want to see. 12. And that does it. Rip Bozo twice over. This stupid piece of crap. Hate this dude.
Nice. That was like half minute delta there at the end of Titanic Ant.
Yeah, really, not that much time in between these two at all. The big difference here is that I think Slug has slightly less burgers than Oxwas.
Oxwas can just go for cops.
Yeah, I think Slug still has 1 burger. She didn't open the present, so I think she can get 2 burgers. 2 burger cops, doable, but can be spooky.
2 is really low.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where if because I think I did two burgers cops in the quad, and it's one of
Dang.
those decisions that you make. You're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna double rocket strong. That's not a thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You just have to be content with that.
It's funny, I've seen a lot of cool new strong strats. I've seen people kind of, they'll have 20 psychic points and they'll hold off on the rock and they'll do one and then they'll kind of just bash for a few turns and then, go for the rock. And I think that's super smart. It's cool to see like little changes like that made just to survive that fight.
Yeah, in general, we've just done double rocking because we're like,
Right,
get us out of this
traditionally.
fight as quickly as possible. I don't want to see this stupid dude, but in a race setting, and we've seen it, and I think a lot of the people doing stuff like that have seen just so many unfortunate scenarios. How many times in this tournament alone have we seen Rock and miss on Captain
Miss.
Strong?
Yeah.
There's a missed on when I did it too, and it's missed. It's like he's like that man has been dodging Rockins like crazy this tournament.
Speedy. Strong rolling those speed stats.
Yeah, he's got 15 speed, so actually that is fairly high this early in the game. So it makes sense why.
Rockin' would miss.
Yeah. So Slug definitely did not buy burgers because I don't. The delta would be higher here. Hatchie bought burgers. So I think she's gonna go for just a simple, potentially one rockin' or no rockin' strong. Oxwas getting a crit on the second cop. The cops are going great now for Oxwas.
Any crits on the cops. Obviously, the last turn's no good, but you can one shot a cop. Feeling pretty good. They didn't do any damage. Maybe they got a little in, but as opposed to that 3-turn shenanigans it usually takes.
Yeah, it's usually a minimum of 3 turns unless you crit. About one cop apart here. Ooh, the cop dodging that attack there. It's not what you want to see. But Oxbox with just now using their first bit of psychic points on this cop sequence, which is pretty great. That's what you want to. That's what you want to see when you're at the cops and getting a burger drop. They're nice and comfy for strong.
Curious to see what Slug has for burgers, like what the exact number is.
She had 3 at the beginning of cops. She's used at least 1.
Gotcha.
I don't know if she still has. I think she may have used 1 other. All right, Oxboss's first rockin' hitting for 70, which is exactly half of this dude's HP. And the double rockin' is enough for the 31:56-ish Onet time.
You're right, Slug is down to 1 burger. I happen to notice in the middle there. I think she's out at this point.
Yeah, so this is going to be a situation where she lives up on the first turn. And depending on what Strong does, you can choose to play this riskier or
Submission.
not.
Not a great first turn.
The life up happens second. She's considering the rock in.
1 more life up, and that's it.
Yep, and she's gonna life up here almost certainly, and then auto fight because that's all she has left if she's out of burgers, as you truly said.
It's like guard is good. He's not attacking, but you're also doing nothing for damage.
It's true, but I mean,
take it.
There we go. Nice stuff.
Beautiful.
So a little bit under a minute now. Not a full minute, but something in the range of like 53-second delta between the two. Which, that's not a lot, actually. That's really not a lot.
Yeah, I think both racers probably would have wanted a better on it, but in terms of this race, they're still very close. Getting out. That's the battle.
Consider chasing that butterfly, but you lose more time the longer you have to chase a rogue butterfly like that. There's more guaranteed butterflies that are more directly in your path. So Slug just has to watch out for mushrooms now walking into Tucson. Being extra careful about the amount of distance she puts between herself and mushrooms.
Pretty cautious there. Those mushrooms like to ninja behind those trees.
Yeah, I personally don't like to approach the canopies of the trees like that, just because mushrooms can be hiding there. So I usually just try and get in the center there where I can see all the stuff around me, and then if there's a ninja shroom, you know, they're farther away from me, so I might have a chance to hit the door transition before they get me.
Give yourself that little bubble of space. Decent time, baby. We're just advancing storylines, doing some fetch quests.
Yeah, so you'll see Ox here doing it first, but they're going to be loading the iron pencil into memory after, you know, giving Apple Kid 200 of your hard-earned dollars. And then that is what prompts, once you load the iron pencil into memory and you exit this cave that Oxwas is in right now, you get a call, get a pencil eraser, and then we're off through PRV, which is really sort of like the next rough area of the run. Easy way to just such narrow passageways and stuff all around it, so very easy to get pincered. Some particularly brutal enemies, particularly the UFO.
It's one of those areas most runners eventually find their way to spawn maps, and you look at PRV and it's just, the tiles are insane. It's kind of shocking when you first look at it.
Like a checkerboard.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Spawn tiles.
Literally. They were extra mean with the spawn tiles in PRV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that UFO causing Oxwas to have to go all the way back here. You really just can't mess with UFOs at all. And you know, there's certain spots where you can dodge them if you can get them stuck on trees and other geometry, but when there's this much open space like this, it becomes that much harder. You have to try and like get as far away from possible if you're going to try and sneak past them, and even then that is very unreliable.
Pretty cool little design when you think about it. Nice little, not really dungeon design, but a little overworld design. Tight areas, open areas.
Once again, a little high five from the runners here. Slug having a much better time getting back to this cave. You know, definitely Slug gained some time here against Oxwas just in this small section alone.
Pretty gross spawns there.
Yeah, I shouldn't speak before it's over because
Right.
you still got to get back into the cave, annoyingly. But even still, like they definitely gained some time back and putting them more back into this race, which they were already very much in this race to begin with. You know, depending on the PRV situation, the happy situation, you know, death where like you know these things. You know, we could see a lead change here not too long from now. Slug also playing it risky. Those trees can also have ninja shrooms kind of chilling there, and I would avoid walking across them like that.
Skip sandwiches. Nice.
Yeah, Japanese runners very big proponents of skip sandwiches, just sort of naturally on the run. And Slug also. Okay, I thought Slug was also thinking about it too.
Be sick. Yeah, it's one of those, like we were talking about old routing. That was definitely a big part of it, was buying skip sandwiches. Not so much anymore, but
Yeah, I think really what we've discovered is that the one vendor that it's worth it to buy skip sandwiches from is that guy.
yeah, gonna do it.
Doesn't have that much text, quick to buy, not too expensive, and in PRV especially here, they can be particularly useful, especially in the cases where we were mentioning the UFOs being hard to get by. Skip sandwiches give you that little extra speed that might be exactly what you need to sneak past them, you know.
Those dodges.
So we'll see how Oxos's PRV goes. See him checking his psychic points, making sure he has enough. Does not have enough, so picking up the butterfly. This is a tough situation that Oxos is in. I think they could get past these sprouts, personally.
Definitely thinking about it.
They might need to use this. Ooh, okay. Despawns the ones that are a problem, so
Yep.
ends up working out great.
Despawn there, little Nemi despawn.
Absolutely. And this is a pretty decent PRV so far for Oxwas. Just this last section here to go. I know Slug wants this PRV to go a lot better than it went in their previous race.
Nothing but explosive trees currently.
Yeah, that tree down there isn't actually an issue. The one that's, you know, under that tree right there. I think they could get past it just fine, but Slug trying to just get rid of it, period end. The problem here is trying to despawn these guys in certain ways often will have them respawn in the same way, depending on how you move and where you're trying to despawn. There's certain paths that just will trigger these spawn tiles loading an enemy more often. No fights for Slug yet. Some scary situations, but so far so good. Meanwhile, Oxwas, having done some shopping, bought a Sandlot bat, bought a Holmes hat. I didn't see if they bought any croissants, but that is one of the strats people do tend to like to do. Just something to heal.
Seen a lot of fresh eggs this year. People seem to like that banana stand.
Yeah, the little banana stand where you can get free eggs, free bananas. Don't gotta pay. There's been some. I mean, in the case of Static Pulse, definitely real happy they bought or stole those eggs because they got into like cultist G inside the HQ, and the eggs are really kind of the main reason they survived. The eggs heal for so much HP. We're gonna rock in here on these cultists. You wanted to kill at least one of the cultists with the rocket. They have 94 HP, and 104 is 10 more than that, so get to save on psychic points here.
That was a nice fight.
Absolutely. Slug having trouble even getting to the cabin over there because these cultists keep spawning, and these are fights you don't want to take, especially. You cannot run from them. They're scripted, unrunnable fights. So even if you have a million turns, you'll never run from a cultist.
She had some really close spawns there.
Yeah, you gotta kill him. And definitely Slug reacted quickly enough. There was a couple close calls there where if you just buffered movement lazily, you definitely would have walked into that dude. And it doesn't matter if it's a green swirl, still can't run.
Yeah, she wisely didn't buffer any movement, got out of there real quick.
See how Slug's shack fight here goes. I know people have been upset that this is called shack fight when this is a cabin and the shack is clearly an onat. But you know, this is what it's been called, and I've died more times to this fight than you could possibly understand. So I get the privilege of still calling this shack fight at the very least.
It's just Shack with a Q. It's a different
Yeah,
kind of
Shaquille.
Shack.
It's Shaquille fight. All right. Well, there's a call for help, which was a little spooky, but the Rockin' one-shotting the new homie. So it's actually going to get a little bit of extra HP or XP from that rather, which might help in the car painter fight. Specifically, also might help in avoiding a giant level up after fighting car painter. That way, they can have, you know, whatever nice low HP they would like for a death warp. Now we're going to see Oxwas go into car painter here. Once again, they want to finish this fight with relatively low HP to set up for the death warp. But you also want Carpainter to reflect some stuff. You know, you want him to hit you with some lightning.
Looks like both runners going for eggs here. Maybe they saw that static pulse race and were like, I think I'm gonna do that. I need some eggs.
Slug throwing away the cookie. Cookie can be used in a Carpainter to
That
if you
butterfly
know
is nice.
when to use it. Yeah, the butterfly is sick to get. It's actually fantastic.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Having full psychic points coming into this building is particularly great. It gives you the option, makes this next fight that Slug's coming into a lot safer. But if you can get through this next fight without using too many psychic points, it gives you a ton of psychic points for Carpainter, which is really good. And Oxwas not having a particularly reflect happy Carpainter here, and they're gonna die. Yeah, this is. Unfortunately, they thought they could survive with 45 HP. That's like right around the threshold there.
Enough. Yeah, usually it's between
life up glitch. Oh, so you cannot.
No.
So there is a glitch that happens once Carpainter puts his psychic shield up, which happens on turn 5. Once after turn 5, any turn that Carpainter would do a lightning, which is always the same turn. It's every 3. It's the way Carpainter works is the first turn is lightning, the second turn is life up, the third turn is hit you, fourth turn lightning, fifth turn psychic shield, sixth turn hit you, and that cycle repeats for eternity. So as long as Carpainter is alive, that cycle will repeat for eternity. But if Carpainter has that psychic shield active, and you use a life up on the turn that lightnings are coming at you, if a lightning were to reflect, what happens is that the game goes, oh, okay, the lightning reflected, and it goes to hit Carpainter. A glitch happens, and it's like, well, it bounced off his shield, so you got hit with life up, which makes no sense, but then you take damage.
Yeah, it's one of those things. In like the first 2 super series, it would happen all the time. It was like people just, it was pretty new, and it was kind of a meme in the first couple tournaments. It was like, oh no, you heal glitch. But yeah, Carpainter is a scripted fight. I guess that's one that people don't really realize. Nice Slug getting through.
Yeah, 60 HP. They're gonna get a chunk of HP. They were 73. The important thing is they didn't die. They actually have a pretty sizable lead now, because Oxwas has to get back through PRV and then get back to Carpainter and then still beat Carpainter. So this is definitely what Slug wants to see. Oxwas not out of this race by any means. Thankfully, they don't have to fight any of the other cultists or anything like that. This is potential. Oxwas gonna pull what we call a pro gamer move here. Use a skip sandwich, and this is another instance. Yeah, whoa, what a sick movement. That's so sick. Unfortunately, PRV is not playing nice. It is really bringing the heat. But Oxwas once again, some close dodges here. But part of that movement, you just gotta feel confident. You're like, listen, I gotta get past these guys, and this is the only way to do it. So you just gotta hope you don't get stuck on anything. Oxwas not getting into any extra fights, which is good. Just one more little stretch to get past to get back into Happy Village.
I'm saying, man, PRV Happy is just coming out this year. Happy saying this is my year. Don't forget about me.
Yeah, with all these people doing two-sim manip and stuff, Happy hasn't had its chance to shine and murder you nearly as much.
True.
And this Boogie percent tournament, they just slap their hands together and like, "Oh baby, it's my chance again."
Speedrunners are going down.
I used to shine all the time in the ways that I killed speedrunners, and then y'all had to start cheating using the manipulations. Well, I've had enough, is what I say.
Today I learned that Happy is your average Twitter user. I didn't know.
Probably going to be going for a mole fight here. 73 HP is enough to do a mole death warp. Mole can hit for about 64. 45. Okay, so that's a decent hit there. So one more above average hit from the mole here. It should be enough. Absent-minded is a wasted turn, but at the very least, not feeling strange. And there we go, 63 for that second hit. And Slug with a pretty decent death warp. Meanwhile, Ox back at Car Painter again.
Round 2.
A lot more psychic points. I expect to see more Rockins fly here.
Oh yeah.
The advantage the Rockins give you is just you're dealing more damage, so it relies less on lightning luck. A nice crit there. Carpenter might almost be dead even before a single lightning has been reflected, and right there is enough.
Sweet revenge.
Yeah, it doesn't even, dying doesn't feel great, and even the revenge kill can feel like, especially when it goes that well, you're like, why didn't you give me that the first time?
Yeah.
But at least you didn't die again,
I mean, to be fair, he had more psychic points, a little more resources this time around, but
Absolutely, yeah.
and Slug kind of, like we were talking about, got that butterfly. That really helped get through.
For sure. So Slug now gonna have to hit some story triggers. We're gonna watch a little Runaway 5 show. Meanwhile, Oxwas gonna have to pick up Paula, discard some equipment, and then we'll see how his death warp goes. Slugs was pretty good though, so if Ox wants to recover some of this time that Car Painter so cruelly took away, they gotta hope for a pretty good one there. But their HP was decent from what I remember after Car Painter. Something in the 40s range.
Happen to notice.
So they got a big level up on Car Painter. It popped it all the way up to 70, which was around the same as what Slug had. And Slug still had a great death warp. So we can still see some magic happen here with the death warp.
Can't say I've seen too many trolley mole fights, death warps this year. Sometimes they're just so gross, but it seems in general this year they've been going pretty smooth.
Yeah, considering some of the really bad ones that we both have been witness to.
Oh yeah.
There's ones that take a little bit longer than usual, and the longer the mole takes even a little bit, you're just like, come on, you stupid mole. But there's times where it's eating like minutes.
Oh yeah.
Minutes.
You can sit there forever. What are you doing?
And this is how it starts, unfortunately. With a So Oxbox auto fighting to hit the mole and get out of confusion. So the problem with Paula dying first here, while it seems great that you're like, oh, I'm trying to death warp and one of the children is dead already. Okay, well, it's great. But this was a really good death warp, roughly on par with Slugs. The only problem with Ness being alive is that when he starts confusing himself, you're tempted to smack him out of the confusion. But the problem is that like if Ness crits, that guy just dies, and then you have to fight another fight. So like, and then you might level up off of that too, which really sucks.
Honestly, I've seen more people this year opting to just bash with Ness and hope to not get the crit, just to knock him out of it.
There's times where I'm like, listen, it shouldn't crit. It shouldn't crit. It should crit less often than it's not gonna. And then every time I bash, it's like smash, and then he just dies. Like I hate this game so much. But like sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation, I mean, you gotta go for it. It is the right play. One
I
of the
think
things that we should bring up, just considering its prevalence in previous races, is the direction of bus these runners are going to go in. And Slug's definitely going to go left bus. Slug is team left bus all the way. Diagonal bus? What? Yeah, that's the good one. Diagonal bus is sick.
My favorite down bus.
Right bus is faster. The one caveat of right bus is that for ideal movement, you want to go right, and then you want to move behind that little pole, so you can see right in front of Gorgeous there. And it's not easy to squeeze by him there. So getting caught on it, you eventually feel like, well, I should have just gone left bus because it's way easier to not get caught on anything. But if you can get good at that movement, which some runners have gotten pretty good at it, and here we see Oxwas with the patented left side entrance, which they posted fairly recently, saying, hey, by the way, y'all losing a little bit of time going on the right side of the theater like that to avoid this photo trigger. You can actually save, like half a second here just trying to enter on the left side.
Love those little improvements.
Yeah, we're getting a lot more of those lately. Not every runner's still used to that. Their muscle memory really kicking in hard. They don't want to get the photo because the photo is an extra 20 seconds lost at least, having to sit through that stupid guy flying down from the sky.
Also incompatible with Vogler strats, which is a little bummer.
Yeah, so it's like it's only really compatible with like a non-Vogler run, because in the manipulation, the last thing you do before going to the theater is talk to Lucky to get the backstage pass, and it's the same with using the Vogler strat, which is what manipulation uses. But the time saved from Vogler ends up being more than the half second you lost. Going to the right side of the theater like that.
Manip still manipping at that point?
Some people are.
Yeah.
There's, Octo does have Graveyard Manip, and so did Doc even, when Doc was active. I personally never really tried to keep Manip past that point, other than like there's some Manip that you can have in Tucson just to make sure that like Chad isn't blocking your way type stuff. But I never had, like, for myself personally, I never had anything that carried into Graveyard. Which, speaking of which, that's where we are with Slug right now. Slug trying to get this story trigger and get out of the Graveyard, which there was some spooky spawns, but Slug expertly using the tombstones and headstones or whatever to get by there and despawn the things that she needed to despawn. So she's going to be heading into Winters fairly shortly.
Pretty solid lead here going into Winters.
Yeah, it could be really scary in Graveyard, but the main thing is that like those headstones really do block most enemies from being a problem. So as long as you don't like freak out too much, you're able to really manage what's going on and make the right decisions. You see Oxwas, see this you gotta move in between this pole and this guy, and it's not always easy. And so it's debatable whether or not that saved more time than going just straight left bus. But you gotta go for the time saves, especially I feel like Oxwas is always gonna go for the things that are more optimal. In the cases of small things like this, anyway, when there's no real risk to it. Let's
Yeah, photo trigger. Little dangerous.
Photo trigger, not as big as you think, though. I think you'd be surprised at how small the photo trigger actually is. But that's one of those things you gotta look like actually at the trigger itself to see how big it is. Because it is fairly tiny.
Yeah, not as big as you'd think.
Yeah,
V
we
and
got Tony with
Tony.
us.
Gang.
Shout outs to my man's Tony. Tony is precious.
Telling you, we need
Ooh,
the
some
Tony
scary
hack.
spawns here for Oxmoss. Get some ghost spawns. So the nice thing to note about ghost spawns, a lot of people are very scared of ghost spawns because one thing you might notice about ghosts in some instances is that they will phase through objects. And so when you see a ghost, you're like, oh no, they're going to phase through an object. But as long as a ghost is aggroed onto you, they cannot phase through an object. Phasing through and sort of doing that weird teleport where they can move through objects is only part of their movement pattern when they have not aggroed onto anything. So if you can get a ghost stuck behind something and actively is like trying to get you, you have nothing to fear. And it's good information to have because one thing you might worry about is then if you have to then despawn, you have to then move away from where the ghost is aggroed onto you, and then when it's not aggroed onto you, it could phase through, so you have to keep that in mind.
Glitchy ghosts, I like to call them.
Yeah, shout outs to Glitchy the Ghost. We're gonna see Slug take a dogfight here, just for some extra safety. I know certain runners are particularly fond of this little safety dog here. You get a 50% chance at a bread roll drop. You get a level out of this.
No bread roll.
But
Sad.
2 HP,
Yeah, 2
which
HP is pretty decent.
yeah, that might mean that they can take two hits of 11 damage, and then or two like one hit of 11, and then a 10 and a 10, and still be okay. Which is generally the protoplasm's average damage range.
Yo, it's Tessie time.
My man's Tessie.
Oh, those look like real stats to me.
Dirtface. Why does Tessie get the only one that says fake stats? What is this? You have so many other fake stats, and then Tessie's the one that gets shamed? What did Tessie do to you?
Okay.
Yeah, but Maxwell deserves that one. Tessie doesn't. The difference is that Maxwell is a piece of shit. All right, that's one curse word I'm saying on comms. Right? That's the big difference there.
Everyone
Oxbox going for the
hates
green
Actor
swirl
Maxwell. Oh, nice.
and getting the green swirl, using Bubble Monkey to his advantage there, and getting the 50% bread roll job. Okay, but make Tessie say real stats.
That
Only
bubble
real.
monkey tech. Using it to get those greens. You love to see it.
And Slug having a very nice Proto 1 fight. You know, getting hit once, but other than that, that guy was just feeling strange. You got too many questions from the people being like, are those real?
I was hoping for a duck skip there. Maybe some sub-pixel garbage for the duck, but no dice.
Yeah, you see a lot of people, you know, really working hard to pull the duck down and into that sort of, you know, bottom little pathway. But back in the day, as you know, us old fogies like to say, the setup for duck skip was just that duck was on the sort of left side uh, of this little bend here, and you can squeeze right past him if you get good enough RNG.
Can't slip
The
right
the one
through.
where yeah, the one where you see people pull them down, it's a lot more reliable, but takes more time to set up. So that's the trade-off there.
Sub-pixel garbage, gonna get you. Slug. Plugging away through Brick Road here. I imagine she knows she's got this lead. Probably just trying to play it safe as possible. Just play your game close to the end here.
I'm not sure that Slug knows she has a lead. It depends on whether or not she's the type of person that would feel comfortable watching the the restream and knowing, like, some people find that stressful. So they're
Yeah,
just like, I don't want to know anything about my opponent. I'm gonna just play my game, and whatever happens, happens. You know. And wow, this pawn cave so far.
yeah, clean
uh, even
opening.
just even just getting this far into pawn cave is with empty spawns is great to see. Slug going for something that's maybe hopefully easier to stutter. A single mouse is definitely more her speed. Well done there.
Yeah, I guess even if you're not watching a restream, still just playing your game. Watching that race room, hoping not to see the dot done.
Yeah, I've raced like that before. I think nowadays I just say, hey, you know what? It's no big
Play the
deal.
game.
I'll play the game. I'll see what everyone else is doing. It's like if I'm losing, I'm losing. You know. And me knowing about it isn't gonna super change the way I play. Ooh, Slug.
Monkey.
Yeah, Monkey not really cooperating there. You got to keep in mind that Monkey's gonna stop. Thankfully, this is not a fight that is gonna kill her. But she unfortunately is not gonna gain any ground on this area, because even if she goes back now and say, "Oh, well, I fought these slugs, so there shouldn't be anything there anymore," something could respawn just walking back right now. So,
There might even still be a rat there.
oh,
Mushroom.
mushroom, even worse. Okay, getting through this part, and finally getting through the second room here. Now, this third room is the last obstacle. We've seen it troll a couple runners, but still able to get into at least this first spawn plate without any issue.
Slug, respecting the pond, stopping for it.
Yeah, Oxboss messing up his second proto skip attempt there. One of the things you can do is have Monkey stop and then go while Monkey is catching up to you, and then if you do it correctly, Monkey will just barely avoid the second proto. But it could be kind of tough to do, and Monkey can still mess it up even if like you do it perfectly, because Monkey can just stop again on a dime. But that last room for Slug, really clean. Going to be now heading towards Andonut's lab and then onto the Skyrunner. Meanwhile, Oxboss, Just a little concave behind. We might see some stutter attempts here. You know, that is one of the ways to deal with concave if you are a little bit less. You need to make up time and stuff like that. It's just riskier.
Clean opening for Ox as well.
Yeah, and this stutter should be getting kind of spooky, but cleans up the stutters, gets into this next room. This is iffy
Yeah.
because of the bump that you would have to get past. That little bump at the bottom, that little upward bump. Oh my gosh! But one despawn, and this room had nothing in it.
Oh.
It's just a casual stroll. And they get into this room just fine too. There's nothing in this pond cave. Guy just forgot to put enemies.
Yeah, those last two rooms, pretty much nothing. Actual nothing.
Yeah. They unionized.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm with them. All right, Ox getting through Concave now too, so gonna be hitting that Skyrunner, and we might have them both on the Skyrunner at roughly the same time. Slug's just gonna still have the lead, just needs Boogie Tent to cooperate, because if she takes a Boogie Tent death, it might mean another lead change here. So we definitely just want a nice, clean Boogie Tent, no deaths, Jeff to do his job. That's what we're looking for here for both runners.
Keeping track of deltas, but a minute and a half sounds about right.
More pass through 3 for Slug. But yeah, we are both runners in the Skyrunner right now. Fox just starting his though.
A bit of pitch shifting on the sound. That might be Ox's input. I know Amarak can do that.
Yeah, Amarak definitely loves to just pitch shift randomly. It's always you can tell when someone's using a GB USB2 and Amarak when you just get the weird pitch shifting, which I personally I love because it's always very funny to me.
Yeah, you get some weird noises out of it sometimes.
Yeah, it's really great. Just it's like hell yeah.
All right, Slug coming through the home stretch. Both
Right,
runners in 3.
Yeah, no enemies up top, which is good. Picking up the teddy bear. And Slug is going to have an eagle eye out for any zombie dogs near the bottom there. Because she took a nasty dog fight in her last race in round 1. Here comes the skip sandwich, the temple tech.
Oh, yeah. Skip sandwiches in 3. Love it.
And no dogs to be seen, so she feels confident. Gawrg.
All right, Jeff, one job.
Defend, BBR. Defense spray is perfectly fine to see, 402. So that's actually decent enough. You get rockets here, the bottle rocket, another defense spray. Not going to help you against the spells and bottle rockets being used against you. And this next rocket should do it. Why are you bashing? No, don't bash. Need to be rocketing for sure. Yeah, I mean Boogie Tent has something in the range of like 20 HP right now, but
It's not much.
your bash is gonna elongate that. And the 50 HP rocking, that is a GG to Slug, taking it over Oxwas, and that's why you got to feel like you can take the win, because 100% you can, and Slug did.
Get the RJ fanfare.
And Ox not that far behind now, getting
There we
grab the
go.
teddy bear
Way to go, Xander.
themselves and head to Boogie Tent.
Here we go. Oh no.
It's a rough fight. This is not a nice fight here. Everything is gonna kill Paula and Jeff. You basically kind of want Paula to die here, or you want her to live to get fire. Those are your only two options. The handsome Tom has been defeated, so we're gonna get some level ups here. It's gonna help on Boogie Tent.
Fire strats.
Some fire strats, but take some extra time, and unfortunately you gotta mash through this stuff. Yeah, Slug in disbelief that she won. Very confused about it. I told her she could win. Didn't believe me. So that's cool, I guess. You know, just not believe. And yeah, that means Slug qualifies for brackets automatically with a 2-0. 2-0 start here in the first two rounds.
Looks like chat had Slug's back. It was like 65-35 in the prediction spread.
BBR here, 7-16, putting in overtime there.
The whole
That
one
was a
shot.
lot of damage. It was a lot of damage
crap.
there. But GG to Oxwas. Unfortunately, it seems like Car Painter has it out for the Japanese runners, because both Octo and Oxwas taking a Car Painter death in this tournament.
GG's to the racers.
You know, 1:16:34 here for Oxwas. It's about, you know, a little bit less than 2-minute difference between these runners. Oh no, the exclamation point done. There it is.
I think obviously the big difference there was that Car Painter death. It was just
Car Painter death was a heartbreaker.
tough to come back.
Yeah, I mean, Ox had a lead going into Car Painter, but I mean, it wasn't like a crazy lead. So the fact that they still brought it back to 2 minutes, because they were probably a little bit farther behind after that Car Painter death. And yeah, I see
Pulled an Octo.
I pulled an Octo. Ouch, because unfortunately on round 1 that happened to Octo. Had a nice lead going into PRV happy, and Car Painter said, "Get out of my tiny little village." But yeah, absolutely good games to both racers. Yeah, we do have Crimson Green doing an async race right now. I believe they've actually already started, because they were a little unclear on whether or not a restream was happening. But I'm willing to stick around, Temple, if you're willing to sort of get that set up.
Yeah, how far in? Let's see.
I actually don't know. I haven't bothered to look. Maybe I should have did that, but
16 minutes.
I just sort of 16 minutes? That's not that much.
All right. Yeah, if you're willing to keep going, I'll try to line this thing up. And,
yeah, so Temple gonna be just I guess you would be stepping out and just handling the restream, and it would be me
Yeah,
and solo comms. Absolutely, totally down with that.
cool. Yeah, yes. I guess we'll just keep it live here. I'll crop in, and yeah, feel free to run away with it.
But yes, this would be an async race between Classic James and Crimson Green. So this is also a qualifier match to determine to get into brackets. Crimson Green also with a current 1-0 score, and Classic James as well. Classic James probably definitely the favorite, just in general. Classic James is just a monster runner. But Classic James has already completed their race for the week, and now Crimson Green is essentially running against the ghost of Classic James. Not to imply anything morbid, but they have to beat the time that James got in their recorded race that they did earlier this week. So I believe on the right here with the instead of a timer, we got some dancing feet down there, which is like a timer. You know, they're very similar. While we're getting the cropping set up, so this is I'm sure this is Crimson probably because we have to get the VOD set up for James here. It's not Matt Watts. It's like a really lanky Ness doing the default dance from Fortnite. I've seen it before. um, so Crimson, he has no style. Crimson in a kind of rough fight here. 1 HP, able to get away? No, unfortunately they're gonna die to this. Not the best to see that. Very unfortunate, but still gonna be hanging in there. I don't know how James run went. You know, as we saw, even extremely strong runners can still have very unfortunate things happening to them. I'm being hacked. Am I being hacked? Being is my mic all messed up? Oh, the names are changing before our eyes. I see. I see. And dude, someone's in the mainframe. All right, so able to gather a little bit of information here about Crimson Green's run. This is their first death because we're getting the photo trigger here. So while it is unfortunate, at the very least, it has not been a super terrible net. Um, I don't believe they're level 8, though. I think I recall them being level 7 when they checked their stats there earlier. And then we'll be setting up James's VOD here on the left shortly. Just have to match it up with the time here on Green's timer. So I'll be commentating as if James were actively racing. But just remember, this is a pre-recorded run from Classic James, recorded earlier this week. I don't know what day specifically, but a day. Some nice stutters here from Crimson. Probably going to still hope to find some slugs on the way up here because I think they were on the second floor in hopes to find a 6-pack up top. And definitely that's the case here. And those are two Antoids. Or it's a single Antoid. 37 experience there. Not enough to level up. Once again, that is two Antoids. Oh no, James is creeping onto the side. He's creeping. Oh no, it's taking over. Fighting a mouse here now. Just trying to get what few experience we can get. And those mice love to crit. They have extremely high guts. He's too powerful. He's taking over all the streams. And we'll get the cropping done first and then get the time sync done thereafter. James is not at Frank at 25 minutes. All right, so comes in now, getting the butterfly they need. I'm going to be heading towards Titanic Ant. It seems like they were actually level 8 And I just missed Saw, but they just have 23 offense. They do not have enough offense to kill these Antoids in a single hit, a single fight. I should mention. So Crimson can try and start this. Ideally, I think you would want to pull it closer towards you. Oh, man, did they get a level? I'm just 100% wrong about everything. It's so hard for me to try and to piece together this run that I don't have the full information for. But they get a cookie drop. I hope it does not end up biting them when they try to heal with a hamburger and use a cookie instead, because it's done that to me before. But we'll see how these Rockins go. Getting hit for 21, not what you want to see on the first turn of Titanic Ant. 61, a little bit lower than what you want as well. Now we're just getting James caught up here. Another Rockin coming. Nice little life up there. Yeah, James is ridiculous. So roughly they're about equal now in terms of their times being synced. Crimson Green still trying to get through Titanic Ant. Enough burgers to do it, and Titanic Ant is taking the empty turns you want to see. Meanwhile, James on Captain Strong right now, so kind of a full little section ahead here of Crimson Green. That death, unfortunately, playing a major part in their deficit here. Oh, and we see a boiled egg drop on the Captain Strong there. Which I know Slug wanted to see the boiled egg from Captain Strong. So James getting the egg. I do believe that is a 1 in 32 drop. Um, but I could be wrong, as I have been wrong plenty of times. Um, but the boiled egg is it's actually not that helpful to get. It's just sick to see. You're just like, man, my RNG's so sick.
Then I'm gonna be out of town next week.
But Crimson Green able to get through Titanic Ant there finally. Going to be making their way down to Cops now as well. They have one burger they can pick up on the way out of Giant Step. So I think they should have enough burgers coming into the rest of the cop sequence. But if they really want to play it safe, they could just buy some more. Slug, you can't say that and be the winner of your race. I need you to know that. You can't. You're not allowed to do that. That's illegal. You can't be like my RNG was the worst. Said me, the winner. I didn't burp. I may have exhaled into the mic. But I did not burp. It was the OST? Oh no. Okay. It was a belch burp. I'm like, I didn't burp. Did I burp? I got really self-conscious that I burped all of a sudden and didn't even notice, like somehow. Dude, I thought I was going. It would not have been a fart. I do not fart. This is facts. Boeing can attest to this. I lived with Boeing for years. Did not fart in front of them once. Exactly zero farts in front of them. You hear lies? It's not a lie. I promise you, it's not. You will never hear me fart. Does this mean I'm not saying I don't fart ever. I fart if I'm alone in a bathroom where it belongs. Is it still belching? Is Bachelor Belch just popping off and I don't know it? This is true. I was in pain several times. Some shenanigans are happening, y'all, and I don't know what shenanigans are happening, but something's happening. Or in the bathtub? That is the worst. I'm gonna stop this conversation now. We're gonna talk about these cop fights on Crimson Green side, all right? This is a bad discussion. I'm done with this topic. Y'all trying to catch me on some shit. You missed me with that. Yeah, so Crimson Green definitely bought burgers because they have a lot more burgers than they had at the end of the Titanic campfight. So they're sitting comfortable in terms of healing for this cop fight, and this is, I believe, their second cop fight out of the four before that you have to fight before Captain Strong. There it is. Yeah, I told you something was happening. I could see. I don't know. I'm pretty sure only I could see this, but I saw Temple just doing some like OBS stuff in the background, and he had it with a hidden image, and I'm like, y'all, something's happening right now, and I'm not. I don't know if I like it, but here we are. There he is. It's Jonathan Ness. I just don't like how lanky he is. He's so lanky. Alright, Crimson Green getting through another cop fight here. And getting to Captain Strong has actually a very nice amount of HP. Enough that you could comfortably rocket on this first turn here. And they're going for it. Good call. 71. So Captain Strong has 69 nice HP left. And it did not work on Captain Strong. So we mentioned it last race, but we've already seen a lot of rocket misses on Captain Strong. He dodging, he missing. Nobody's hitting right now. But that's enough to take out Captain Strong. So about 32-minute Onet for Crimson. James had a very nice Onet of something in the range of 27 to 28 minutes. So we're looking at about like a 4 to 5 minute delta here between these two runners. James cruising along, maybe a little bit more despawning than they would have liked to have done, but still able to keep this advantage rolling. The problem is the majority of the beginning of Mother 3 is just exposition, and then you fight like a guitar and it just beats your ass. Or bass. It's like a stand-up bass or some shit. You know when that run is over. All right, Crimson in Tucson. Just run Flint beats up that guy with the stick %, which is one of the best scenes. I forget that guy's name. Yeah, the problem is where I found that guy is the worst. Is it Lighter who says it? I don't think it's Lighter. I think he has a dumber name. He has a name that is like way more dumb. It's Bronson. His name is Bronson. Bronson's actually not that dumb of a name, but it wasn't Lighter. It's just that Bronson sucks. That guy sucks. He's the worst at delivery. Hey, I got good news and bad news. Check this cool thing I found. Problem is I found it in your dead wife. Oh man, but look how cool it is. Oh no. Guess that's oh, you know what? You're not happy about that? What do you mean you're beating me up with this stick? Oh man, that's crazy. Whoa, chill. This weapon is so sick though. That weapon you're beating me up with isn't nearly as sick. I should talk about Boogie for a second. I'm just vibing with chat right now. So James trying to get to the cabin here in Peaceful Rest Valley to do the Shaquille fight. The problem with me on our Mother 3 rant is that it can go on for a while, and I think Temple knows this too. This has been a constant since I've joined the community. Not to say I dislike Mother 3, but I don't like it as much as Earthbound, and that's what I'll say about that. Yeah, James gonna fight my man Shaq. So we'll see how this fight goes. For those who weren't here during Slug and Oxboss's race, you ideally want this Rockin' to kill one of the cultists, you know, if not both, obviously. You know, the best scenario is that this Rockin' just one-shots everything. But the cultists have 94 HP, which is above average. That you know the damage you'll roll. 96, that is above average, so it kills. 52, below average, but at the very least a hit. You don't want this to work. That sucked that it worked, and the bash didn't even kill. And I think James expected it to, and he queued up a bash against the wrong cultist. So they're actually potentially dead. Oh, narrowly missed. James is so lucky. But sometimes that luck is what propels you into victory. Getting a crit when that guy had like 2 HP left. A call for help, but it failed. I imagine when that happened to James, they were extremely happy to not see another guy show up. But whew, that could have been yet another death here in this happy village section, which has really been with a boiled egg coming into play. It really has been particularly ruthless this tournament so far. When normally it is a net that is really where all the bloodshed happens. Not to say that a net has had its fair share of bloodshed already, but Happy's trying to keep up, is all I'm saying. A lot of cultists on the screen. Can't run from these fights, so you have to despawn these guys. You do not want to take these fights. And James getting some really bad spawns. So we'd be going into this next cultist fight here. James, ideally, in an ideal scenario, you kind of want you want this fight to go that you bash 3 times and then you kill him, and you want him to kind of actually hit you a couple times. That way it can help set up for the death ward. But an instant call for help, and we're gonna have to Rockin' right out the gate. We don't want this to get out of hand anymore. So you Rockin', it should kill the one you bashed already. Well, 100 is enough to one-shot it. And then 80 is, you know, it's got 14 HP left, so. At the very least, the nice thing for James here is that their HP is a lot closer to what they would want it to be after this car painter fight. So ideally, they probably, if they are going to use Rockin', they're going to try and use Rockin' on the turn they get hit, because they have more than enough HP to survive the hit. So they might want to delay getting the kill as much as possible. And also for these first couple turns, is because of this life up that happens in the second turn every time. You know, it's not really up to you whether you can kill this guy that quickly to begin with. In a crit on the first turn and a reflect, actually he could be dead if we get another one. All right, so the life up gonna be some HP back, but James dealt a colossal amount of damage on that first turn. And a reflect here, and this actually should do it. Yes, and a perfect HP We'll see what the level up gives James. And yeah, 23 HP, such a fantastic HP to be at for the Death Warp. Crimson Green now going to be starting on Peaceful Rest Valley over there on the right. I didn't get to mention it because we were talking about farts in Mother 3, but Peaceful Rest Valley, unfortunately, very narrow passageways, a lot of scary spawns. And you can see Crimson, you know, trying to play around this as best as possible. Unfortunately, has got himself into sort of a rough scenario. This you can maybe get past this diamond, but not wanting to risk it. Gonna respawn and despawn, and just make sure that there's nothing in the way here. There's a tree up there. That tree up there actually not as threatening as you think. There's just not a lot of room for it to potentially maneuver downwards. The unfortunate part about trees spawning in this section that Crimson Green just walked through is that trees have very big sprite hitbox, you know, very big sprites, and so despawning you have to walk a little bit farther than you would think. Crimson not wanting to walk past that Whirlwind Robo. I actually think they would have made it, but just playing it as safe as possible. And a UFO fight for Crimson. That is unfortunate. This dude is hecka fast. You could tell, you could see it already with dodging, you know, Ness's first hit. You're gonna want to heal on this next turn, Crimson. And ooh, unfortunately, now you've got yourself in a situation where if you miss, oh, nice. Lucked out there that the UFO miss. Causes nighttime stuffiness, not the worst. You get into a little cold, but you're gonna have the psychic points to deal with that. So able to get through this fight without dying. That's definitely, you know, the best possible scenario because you're not going to run from this dude. He's got a whole boatload of speed. We got a Death Warp coming here on James's side, so we're looking for this mole to kill us as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, he's feeling a little strange, not really feeling up to the task. Oh, he felt strange enough to hit Paula though, and unfortunately, he's still feeling strange. I'm pretty sure. And you can see, I mentioned it last race, but you see James is scared to hit the mole because he does not want to crit the mole and instantly kill it. But, you know, that Death Warp, not the worst. Maybe took a little bit longer than James would have liked, but James is also particularly speedy boy. So probably just wants everything to go as fast as possible. So James gonna be doing some story triggers now. So we're gonna focus on Crimson as they go through Happy Village. I didn't get to mention it, but James did the same thing here, buying. Ooh, do not. Yeah, Crimson Green thought the Sandlot bat was in the same slot that the T-ball bat is in Onet, and almost bought the Fry Pan, which is not useful in a Boogey % run in any way, shape, or form. And not really useful in a glitchless run either. And Crimson is just buying the defense items. Probably going to be doing some egg strats on the way back then. Unfortunately, that butterfly is not helpful right now. If it was still there on the way back, that'd be sick. But right now, not very useful because we already have full HP and full psychic points coming into this fight. We'll see how this Shaquille fight goes for Crimson. Once again, we're looking for Rockin' to obliterate everything on the screen. All right, I mean, obliterating one of them is still fine. Yeah, definitely. It's not a choice you want to make because you're just like, oh, this stupid crow like didn't die, and oh, he's stealing hamburgers now too. He's a thief on top of it. Can't even send him to jail. Stealing more things, just being a big jerk about it. Getting a nice big level up there. That UFO XP actually probably helped facilitate that really big level up there. You gotta be careful on your way back through this cave. You do not want to take cultist fight. Here's a nice little croissant here for safety. It's always nice to have. A little bit of added safety. Call for help, once again, not what you want to see. You could just bash it out still, and try and save on the psychic points, but another call for help is going to guarantee you another rocket is going to occur right here. Oh, and we got more of the squad showing up. Happy Village is unhappy today. You gotta heal. You gotta heal on this turn. And Crimson trying to decide what's the right decision here. Croissant, not a bad play. So both these guys one bash away from dying. It's just a scary situation. You really don't want to call for help to work here? All right, no friends. You got no friends, buddy. Nobody showed up for your call for help. And you know what the best part is? When we get out of this battle, look at all these people. You call for help and not a single one of them showed up? Not a single one of them showed up? You kidding me? You call for help in a room full of homies and they're just like, nah, I'm good, dog. You take care of it. Yeah, and they ain't coming to your birthday party. Dude, no friends. See James with a very clean right bus there. It's again showcasing how small that photo trigger really is. You barely need to even move to the right to fully dodge it. But car painter here for Crimson Green. First turn didn't look like there was a. Oh no, you cannot bash on this turn, and that is a car painter death. Yeah, you do not have enough HP to survive with 43. Even with an extra level like that, you just cannot do that. And unfortunately, car painter two kills tonight. Car painter has claimed 2 lives in 2 races tonight. Now Crimson Green gonna have to walk all the way back through Peaceful Rest Valley. This, James already had a lead, but this is a pretty big time loss here. You're gonna need to pick up 2 butterflies on the way back again as well. Yeah, Death of Car Painter is one of the worst deaths you can take in the run, period. No, it's up there with Strong, because Strong is one of the worst deaths you can take in Onet. If you die to Strong himself. If you die early to Cops, it's not nearly as bad as, but dying to Strong, you have to redo the entire Cops fight, and it's really bad. Car Painter, I think, is up there with a Strong death. Just because of the amount, you have to get through these caves, and then you have to get through PRV, and then you have to get through Car Painter again. So it's a pain, for sure. While James heading into this graveyard section, going to be using this pathway here. It's just a nice pathway that helps. It doesn't necessarily help lessen the chance of spawns, but it's the safest path because there's the most obstacles that you can use to get enemies stuck on things. Yeah, walking back to Tucson is definitely not a bad choice. It's really not that big a time loss. It just really depends on how many spawns you get trying to get out. The main thing is getting out of Happy Village, trying to get out of the cave and up going the opposite direction, past where you walk by that little cabin. That can be particularly obnoxious when trying to walk back. Yeah, but you might get pickled still at strong as well if you haven't been pickled yet. And depending on your burger situation, you have to buy more burgers. And then also you have to fight all of the cops from the get-go. The main thing is really fighting all the cops again. That makes the strong death really bad. Because like yeah, you have to get through to giant step, but you have a goal there, and if you have psychic points, you can rock in annoying fights on the way up and stuff. So Crimson just trying to get back into Happy Village to get this rematch with Carpainter. Able to do it. Meanwhile, Winter's starting for James. Want to see how this Carpainter fight goes. Thankfully, the one nice part, at least the one saving grace of Dyna Carpainters, you come back to Carpainter fully stocked, fully loaded, and ready to just get your revenge as quickly as possible. Well, classic James talking to one of the worst humans in existence. Good. That brings me joy. All right, how's this Carpainter gonna go? We're looking for reflects. And Crimson Green playing it really safe right now. They cannot rock it anymore because the psychic shield is up. So they're gonna save these psychic points for HP, and they are not gonna look back. And there we go, able to get through it. I don't think they should get a big level up from this. Yeah, they're fine. Although they do have paralysis, which is they could if this were a full glitch just run, they could try and do early Mondo Mole, but with no minute. But in Boogey percent, obviously, no point in doing that. Yeah, Ness never stops dancing. It's not a thing that's ever in his mind to stop dancing. James deciding to negate the right bus entirely by talking to Bubble Monkey from the left there. For reference, you want to talk to Bubble Monkey from below Bubble Monkey. Because Bubble Monkey has to travel less distance to join your party. So it's faster. All right, we dropping teddy bears. We're gonna be dropping this cheap bracelet. Unfortunately, giving items to yourself does not unequip them. So I'm gonna have to move that over to Paula. You can technically try and have that on Paula. It's more of a glitchless strat than a Boogey percent strat. The non-manip glitchless strat, you might want to move that equipment to her so that she can help survive 3K a lot easier. Boogie percent, not that particularly useful. She'll still die from one shot from Boogie Tent. Even with that equipment equipped, it does not really make a difference. So my general advice is to just drop it. That way you reduce on menu lag. For specifically Boogie percent, I mean. Those are just some of the small differences. Unfortunately, the mole trying to, play a little strange here, feeling a little strange, feeling a little confused. Just missed. That's one of the mole's favorite things to do. Meanwhile, we got Tessie in their screen, so you got your Tessie emotes, let them fly. We got some nice ones for the channel now, so please give some love to the homie Tessie. And this death warp taking a lot longer than Crimson Green already wants us to. It's just unfortunate. Just sometimes this is what the mole does. And it's not even feeling strange. It's just being absent-minded right now. Paula dies, which is fine, but you also want Ness to die quickly right now. Perfect. Oh, the six-pack right there. So finally getting that death warp to go through. Crimson Green now going to be doing some last-minute story cleanup before they head to 3. Meanwhile, Classic James going to be starting this Brick Road. Going to be fighting this Protoplasm. MS probably Omnibenevolent. Game's going for Proto 1 skip. Unfortunately, just mis-executing, even if potentially Bubble Monkey would not have played along either. Getting hit for 11 on the first one and a call for help working out is not what you want to see on this this turn 2. James gonna kill this first Proto and then might defend it out. Yes, so they kill the first Proto just to take less damage in these upcoming turns, bashing again, taking the 10 hit here. They can defend once more and potentially survive, but they're going to go for a run, and it works out. So the boiled egg going to be eaten here to get them back to full HP. Ooh, this is a nice start to a potential duck skip, and there it is, just quickly set up. Now the duck can still potentially move up and to the right once again, but decides to nestle itself firmly in a skippable position. And meanwhile, Bubble Monkey saw that Protoplasm move and the deer in headlights mode activated, and it was just lights out. So we're fighting this dude. And unfortunately, because we ran away from Proto 1 and skipped the second duck, this fight now is equally as scary as Proto 1. But looks like James got the good RNG to back him up, and he's able to get through Brick Road. So running from that first Proto, a very, very quick duck skip setup, and then immediately just 3 rounds straight on this second Proto, able to get through it. Yeah, sorry, it's like a favorite pass is to farm up on slugs. So the strat. James considering stuttering this. This is stutterable, but very difficult if your stutters are good enough. Unfortunately, not quite good enough. James might be a little by fine here. Unfortunately, even a Bubble Monkey crit, not enough to one-shot these 30 HP slugs. Slug under attack once again. And then we're gonna go for, we're gonna try this, pull this mouse down and stutter up and to the left. And we're gonna use this cliff here, which helps give us extra distance. And nice stutter here. This is another rough stutter. You gotta stutter in between these slugs here. But James picking up the burger while stuttering, making it look like it's easy. Okay, not wanting to play nice for James, but we're gonna risk this. Okay, so this is a situation where you have to stutter above these guys I hear, and you're really hoping a mushroom does not spawn ahead of you. So it is slugs over there. Thankfully, it's actually just 2 slugs. If it's 3, they add more lag. So, oh, Crimson Green, we got an advertisement. Yo, I hope everyone's excited about this advertisement happening on the right here. Honda football! Honda football! James trying to get this last despawn here. Football! Invisible person? Simba! James, unfortunately, these mushrooms are being quite cruel to James right now. He's gonna wait to get that guy stuck on the wall. Now James finally through Pond Cave. All right, Crimson Green going for a left bus, which I'm sure brings Slug some joy. All right, so the Skyrunner sequence starting for James here on a pretty decent pace. Which is no surprise. James loves putting up decent paces. So, yeah. Seems I've been spoiled on what James's end time is here. I won't mention where it's been spoiled for me. Just to keep it nice and fresh, but definitely on a very good pace right now. Yeah, same. My hands sweat when I get nervous. I also start shaking. And Crimson in 3'd at the same time as James here, although unfortunately an entire winter sequence behind. Well, hold up, Slug. These could be normal. Do you play with your feet? Like, do you hold the controller with your feet? Because then it would make sense. Oh, no, no, it's me who does that. Oh shit, we never considered underbus. We've been talking about going left, right, and down. We could just slide under that that dude. Just slide under the bus. What could go wrong? What about through bus? You just no clip through it. Under bus. I just I just exposed something about a runner. No, no. What do you want? What do you want, you coward? Don't join unmute. No, you can't do that. Unmute the microphone right now and say what you gotta say.
I was getting myself set up here. I just got called out in chat, and I'm super confused because I was only in chat for like 30 seconds. What am I getting called out for?
People are
See, is
saying,
airfam, get on this.
"Oh, we brought up the possibility of underbus."
Underbus? How the hell are we gonna do underbus?
Well, apparently it involves me just exposing things about Runner.
I know we saw something about Slug's feet, but
Yeah, and she said I threw her under the bus, and then we were like, oh wait, under bus.
I mean, I had a different thing for Slug Bus, but I got shut down for that one. I'll leave it up to her whether or not she wants to reveal that.
No, we don't have to do that, but we can add underbus.
Someone give me a good Mimi one, I'll go for it.
We need some
Other than
writer.
turning everything to left bus again.
I did you do that because of me? By the way.
No, I did it for RJ in the previous one. It was
Oh, okay.
just for RJ.
Okay, because I would think I think I was in chat at the time and I was very confused. I was like, is it only left bus prompts now? Also,
Yes,
good
it
game,
was.
good games to James. Let's say 106-38 there.
Now the spoiler is no longer spoiler.
Yeah, so it was on the Google Doc there. That's where I got spoiled.
It's been hidden for about a week, just in hidden.
Yeah, Classic James did their run very early in the week, I guess. Which, you know, that's kind of the point of an async. So times can't match up. Runners can't find a time to race at the exact same time. So do a quick little async. 106.38 is fantastic as usual. I mean, we have comparable runs within the week. We have Ukoid with a 106.09, Chikubi with a 106.34. So just 4 seconds better. Like, these are fantastic times to be putting up. And you know, James definitely no stranger to this. You know, last week 105.57. So they're even running roughly at the same time each. You know, so far for these first 2 weeks. So that's
to
a
think of when this whole tournament was created. What was it, like 115, 120 was the average time of the whole tournament?
yeah
Back in like 2016.
Yeah, so back in 2016, which was I believe the first one, which is the one I won, the average time for most races, if you could get a sub 110, that was a crazy run. So you know everything within like 110 to 115, like you mentioned, was roughly the average for like a very good run. And then of course you had people who just had Deaths to Car Painter and Deaths to Ant, and that got into the 120s and the 130s and stuff like that. I mentioned Uko. So Uko, I think, with the top time this week. I believe that's the #1 best time, 106.09.
Let's take a look.
So in terms of winners of the week, in terms of best time, Ukoid takes the round 2. Round 1 was, of course, taken by Chikubi, a 104.35, which is absolutely monstrous. What a ridiculous time to get in a race of all things.
Never ceases to be impressive, the amount of times that are pulled off in these races.
We got Nintendo 64 here happening. I think this is when James played Pilot Wings. Oh no, Blast Corps.
He went the Blast Corps for a speed run, for a casual run afterwards, per request of his chat.
Emergency Blast Corps.
I love that game.
Situation: carrier locked on course. Solution: clear past to ground zero. I don't know anything about it. Never seen this game.
Destroy all the buildings with the construction equipment you have been given.
Chances slim. Oh
The truck
man,
will not stop.
what an incredible opening to a game we just saw.
It is like your local Department of Transportation closing down the highway. It will not stop.
And also thank you everyone posting Tessies there in the chat. Crimson Green not done with their race quite yet. They want to finish, absolutely. So we're getting on the Tessie. We're getting towards Brick Road. Let's destroy the local economy.
Oh, Slug pussing 2 different Tessies going on in chat there.
Yeah, we had Tessie Pog and a regular Tessie. Some Tessies pogged out of their minds.
working on 1 or 2 more remotes for the channel over the next day or two.
Doot. I love that Blastcore is still just playing over there. It's so sick. But I will pay attention to the Earthbound. And for those who want to watch Blastcore, it is there
just
for.
finished on Tessie, so
Yeah, well, there's a protoplasm. There's a duck. Like, listen, I am slowly becoming enraptured by Blastcore, but.
oh, we can hang out afterwards, and I'll tell you all about it. Is he gonna get the skip? No.
No, it's one of those things that's tough. It's not a lot of people have done it, and it's one of those things you kind of go for and you hope you get it.
Well, if I could only obey my own bot's commands.
Yeah. All right, so first proto.
Thankfully, he's through.
Yeah, able to get through without a death, which is always nice. We'll see what the duck has in store. So that is skippable, but unfortunately you loitered too long on the left side of the wall there. So if you see the duck in that left corner over there, so what you want to do is you want to walk along the right side of this pathway here, because you want to make sure that the duck does not aggro onto you. And then you want to try and make it around that bend as quickly as possible. That is a duck skip setup you can go for. Enemy 3-car garage.
But I have to respect the decision just to go for the duck because it just might spend more time trying to set it up than going through the fight.
3-car garage is such a sick. Last score is like, oh no, a 3-car garage. Oh, a second proto skip though. Very nice to see. We actually have not seen that much of that in this tournament. Bubble Monkey has been a menace and has stopped every attempt at second proto skip.
He's been your best friend, just trying to make sure you get the extra experience and HP.
Yeah, we'll see what 3-car
Crimson
garage
to
has to say about him.
This vehicle, the dump truck, is the worst one in Blast Chorus because you have to hit with the tail to destroy buildings. It sucks.
What do you mean the tail? Oh, I guess
you have to hit
okay.
with the back end, not the front.
I guess the tail of the car. Yeah, I thought you were. I don't know why it's approaching time I should sleep, but my brain was just like, cars don't have tail.
I can commentate both of these right now. Now the car that James has fires rockets onto things. You have to be a certain distance away.
I don't like this car, by the way.
Well, good thing it's not a car.
I don't. What is it?
It's a motorcycle with rocket launchers.
Yeah, I mean, you could describe it as that. It's not what I would describe it as. Why is it gonna look like? Man, Crimson Green is in a rough.
Official vehicles.
Crimson Green's in a rough situation here, unfortunately. 3 attack slugs. Thank you. Someone said it. I didn't want to say it on commentary. I really don't want to say it on commentary what it looks like. And I'm just
the official name for it is Ballista.
That's not a ballista.
Well, that's what they named it. It's codenamed Ballista.
But that's not a ballista.
Well, it's firing things.
Yeah, I mean, ballistas do that, but everything that fires something is not a ballista.
Take that up with Rare.
Is that robot T-posing? He do be kind of T-posing, to be honest.
The current robot is J-Bomb.
That's just his name?
Yeah, that's the name.
J-Bomb the robot? Codename Phyllis.
That walks between the vehicles, so... Bubble Monkey cooperating here on Crimson's side. Hopefully there will be no mushrooms at the top of the line there.
Yeah, I'm sure Crimson at this point... knows what James is capable of. Maybe even knows the time that James got, and understands that this race is unfortunately lost for them, but they do want to finish and trying to finish with as best of time as possible.
Yeah, because you never know which time is going to be dropped over the course of 4 weeks.
Yes. But for a whole planet, Orion Plaza. Destroy buildings in 2 minutes and 0 seconds.
So this one takes place on a pool table / soccer field.
Wait, what? No, you can't have both. You can't be
You can.
You can't be
Look
both.
At the table. Look at the
You
table. We got 2.5 minutes to discuss this.
Wait, it just has the lines of a soccer field, but there's no soccer goal. And also, the lines are only
pool
on.
table / soccer field.
No, the lines are only on one part of the pool table for some reason.
Well, it's only a half a field.
But it doesn't have a goal. It's required for a soccer field.
Just destroy all the pool sticks.
That's not where the goals go. It's out of bounds. All right.
James racing now with the America car. It has a special sound to it if we could hear the audio.
This car handles perfectly, by the way. Like,
Well,
there's
actually,
no.
It doesn't. It doesn't. The best vehicle for this is the Mr. T van.
You just mean like a van that is similar to the one the A-Team had, or is it like specifically a Mr. T van?
It's very specifically the Mr. T van, but let's find out what it's called. It's probably...
So you're telling me that the thing that Blast Corps and Earthbound have in common is they both feature Mr. T?
Yeah! Just he's driving on the inside.
Well, Skyrunner is happening right now, Slug. This is the only reason I'm focused on Blast Corps. Once the Skyrunner we land, then I'll focus back on Boogey. But this Skyrunner cutscene can F off because I've seen it a million skillion times. Dude, why is Blast Corps actually kind of sick?
It's not called the Mr. T van, it's just called the van.
Dude, Blast Corps actually kind of sick though.
It is a fun game.
This game actually kind of schnasty.
Kids will be excited to know that we got so many converts into the Blast Corps community now. And if it hasn't sold you on it yet, there is a section in space.
I mean, I figured that was gonna happen.
You have to beat the main game first, though.
Oh, we're getting in the 18-wheeler.
That's right. Speedrunning right there. And a promotion.
Damn, Mother 3 on 64 looking different. Hey, maybe I would have liked Mother 3 a lot more if it was just Blast Corps. Alright, Crimson going to be approaching Boogie 10 here shortly. Probably going to be seeing a teddy bear picked up. Crimson probably just trying to get this done with as quickly as possible. But we might see some safety bottle rocket purchases just to make sure. Very, very possible. Just some nice little added safety. You just want to finish your run as much as possible.
So far, so good. Waiting for the second half to be clean. Enemies on the sides don't really matter all that much.
Yeah, Pumpkin Kid a little bit obnoxious there, but he's out of the way now, and this should be fine to get to the Boogie tent, even with that zombie dog down there.
Doggo, pet the dog, pet the dog.
So we're looking at a rockin'
for the first round.
Defense spray is what you want to see. Rockin' helps make this bottle rocket not have to hit for as much, and exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. It was a perfect situation where the Rockin' helped guarantee the kill. So GG to Crimson, able to finish their boogie percent time here. It's looking like a 121. Yeah, round 3 is going to be starting.
Tomorrow morning after I wake up, we've got
Yeah.
one more breeze to go, and we're waiting on one more racer. So after that happens, the new rounds will be posted and rooms will be created after I wake up.
Crimson mentioned I am also watching the Bengals game, so I may get more salty in the middle of this run. But GG to Crimson and GG to Blastcore again. No, GG to Class James as well. James actually taking the race, so James will qualify for brackets now. James is 2-0. As well as the result of the race before this, which was Slug taking on a second victory as well. I mean, Slug will also be advancing to brackets. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I can't believe this is. I mean, Temple probably gotta go to bed, so it do be making sense. Oh, you mean cutting us off from Blastcore? Yeah, I mean we gotta wrap up here. So definitely people have got to approach their times for sleeping, for work the next day. People got work early potentially. So thank you so much to Temple for the restream. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for hopping in, Airframe, in the middle of comms. It was fun. And congratulations to all the runners who finished, regardless of whether you won or not. And look forward to round 3, which will have the pairings posted tomorrow morning some point, and expect a bunch of races next week as well, because you know we got 4 rounds of this Swiss in total. So 2 more full rounds to go. And have a good night, everybody.
Good night, all. See you in the next round. Swiss 3 coming up.